Okay, guys, hold on to your hats for this one. So everything that I've been working on for this 2D engine has been building up to this. Admittedly, it's version 0.1. Okay, so it's not version 1 or whatever, but I'm going to show you. And forgive me if I don't remember everything, but I'm going to start at the top here and I'll show you everything that I've done. Okay, so here's the vertex shader. Immediately, I changed a few things because I wanted to add a little bit more versatility to the engine. So our color is now 4 floats. Okay, so it's a vector 4. I changed the type that we also take to where that is 2 floats, so it's a vector 2. Okay, which means we had to change the vector 2 here so the type that we're outing is a vector 2. Everything stays the same pretty much in here. So the rest of the vertex shader is fine. So we basically only changed 3 or 4 lines because this has to be vector 4 now too. Okay, so then we go down to the fragment shader. Okay, so we get in vector 4 our color, in vector 2 the type. Okay, so what did I change here? Okay, basically I changed the frag color. See this one? So now it's our color, RGB, and then 1. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we throw in as far as the A, it's ignored. And then same thing with this one, RGB, okay, and 1. So right here, you'll notice this little guy, okay? This is where a lot of magic happens right here. There's a lot to it. First of all, I did it in stages, so I don't expect you all to just be able to follow along with this and be like, oh yeah, you got it, I got that, okay. Um, I used, because in this particular case, this particular type is actually referencing a texture, and it's referencing, well, I'll show you the texture. It's this one. So what this is a rather large texture. It's 2048 by 3040. And each texture inside, each picture is 32 by 32. So division, multiplication, division, fractions, all that fun stuff. You figure that out and you go back to here. So you take the fractional part of type y divided by r, which I'll show you that later. You floor type y divided by r divided by the green color. Okay, I'll show you that later. And just remember fractional and floor. Okay, so that's your floor is how you get your y, and the fractional color is how you get your x. And I did this in PowerShell, figuring this out step by step. And then text color is equal to texture, the texture that we referenced from the uniform, GL point coordinates, okay? And now how you select within a texture where you want to be. The offset that you add is where you start. Okay, so you got this big long texture, okay? And wherever you specify an offset that you're adding, so you're going to that position. So like you're at 0, 0 and you're going to that position to start. And then wherever you multiply this GL point chord, that is the width and the height. So that's what A and B are from our color, okay? RGBA. So we're just using the alpha color for the Y height and the blue color in this particular type of primitive. We're using the blue color for the X width, okay? And these are computed just on the previous lines. Okay, so float x equals the fractional, y equals the floor. Okay, and so then we add a little bit of alpha discarding. Okay, so if the alpha element, which we're actually using, then it's discarding all the alpha backgrounds on the PNG, which is awesome. And then what survives the discard actually gets set to the color that you get from the sprite. Okay. Phew, so we made it through that. Okay, so as we go down here, let's see what else I had to change. Init2, okay, this had to change, and you can guess why, because the attributes changed. Okay, so now there's 9. See, we got this changed to 4, and this changed to 2, so now we got 2, 4, 6, there's 7, there's 9, so that goes to 9, that's why. Then down here, we changed that to 2, we changed that one to 6, and that one changes to 7, so actually these two are the only ones that changed. The first one didn't change. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So init text, we put our project PNG in there, which is what I was just showing you. Create shaders doesn't change. Draw stuff doesn't change. Update stuff, clean up. Okay, add point. Okay, this is what changed because we added the fourth float to the color, so we have RGBA, and then we added the second float, so our vector 2, our type is a vector 2, so we have X and Y for the add point. So when we're referencing the vertex array, we're going a step further, and so the total down here changed also because we're going 9 with every step. So every vertices is now 9 floats. Okay, and that changed the add point parameters. Okay, index didn't change, but the floats, you just have to account for all of them. So you put in the A, excuse me, then you put in the type X and type Y. Okay, which since that changed, you also have to come back up here to the add point declaration and change it up there. Okay, so then we're back down here. So that's the add point function. Okay, then the points init. Now this is where some of the beauty of this comes in, because now I can specify right here whatever type of point I want. These are all points at the moment. So we can have our 0, which references into the texture and chooses from among actually 6,080 different pictures within the one texture. Okay, and then based on the calculations and everything, it chooses that one picture and it displays it on the point. Beautiful. Okay, colored square point. Okay, we just change the parameters to add point slightly. And the same thing with the colored circle procedurally generated. Okay, and then we also modify the points move. Okay, we changed all these to 9, and then the point type is specified right here so that when it goes out of bounds again, what we're doing now is we're choosing another random point type, so it's not going to be like if it goes off the screen and it was a circle, now it's going to be a random type. So it could be a circle again, but it could also be the square or the textured square. Okay, so then we choose which things we need to reset, which it turns out we actually need to reset quite a bit if we're going to do that. So anyways, so then we reset those, and most importantly the type goes here. And okay, actually let's take this out because we don't need to do any debugging. I commented everything else out because we're not onto any of the other things yet. So that's pretty much it as far as changes. Main did not change. Surprisingly enough, main did not change. Okay, so let me show you what it does. We're going to save it, save everything, compile everything here. Okay, and now we're going to run it. So what we're getting, and here's the cursor, which is a random texture. It's kind of cool. So you're getting all these textures literally from amongst 6,000 choices, more than 6,000 choices, and it's displaying them on the points quite perfectly, I might add. And none of them are really overriding the other ones. So there's a little bit of an issue with some of the alpha coordinates, alpha whatever, but that's very, very minor. Then you've also got your circles and your squares. So we can continue to add different primitives and different types. So we can add more procedurally generated types. This is just, and I'm ready now for a complete 2D platformer with these sprites alone, because there's 6,000 sprites and we can easily draw. Like if you look at it, there's so many. This is the other one here. I don't know why that one opened with paint, and I don't know why that one opened, but see, you've got all these land sprites, or so this could be your platforms and all the decorations for that, and then you've got your weapons, and you've got like all these other things, and then there's all these characters and things and monsters, and then there's bodies and suits and faces and shields and weapons, and then there's, yeah, so this is amazing. I just need to map through this and get started with a 2D platformer, and I'm going to do that slowly and bit by bit, so that hopefully everybody will be able to follow what I'm doing. And for now, that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more, because the 2D engine is literally just getting started. I would say we're at version 0.1. So we're not even at version 1 of the 2D engine yet, and we're pretty well ready to go to do a simple 2D platformer. Aside from special effects that I would put in, and some sound and some GUI stuff, which I don't think I want to do right away. I'll just go right into the platformer. But alright, so it's almost a 10-minute video. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, leave comments below the video, and stay tuned.